dugout with him, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the season, the beginning of the 2015 season, is how big that was for the Cubs. How many games our manager's worth, and in that guy's case, huge. I don't know. I don't know if it's 5, if it's 10, but it certainly is a big, big difference, and he definitely knows how to get guys together to gel. And back on Hayward, I just saw this on MLB last night, that over the last 5 years he's saved just over 100 runs in the outfield. And I can't remember who the second place outfielder was, but they'd saved like 59, sorry. So it's hard to overstate. It's not that the guy is going to go to Wrigley and hit 30 homers, and it could happen, but that's not why they got him. 100 runs. That's 20 runs a year he's saving, which, if you look at sabermetrics, okay, that's just 2 wins. But even if that's all it is, even if they're not at key moments, which they will be, 2 wins is huge. Just from defensive ability in the outfield, that's enormous. That's a huge, huge pickup for them. I really don't think it can be overstated how big this is for the Cubs, because it fits just so well with them. And like you said, Zobrist can play anywhere. So, they're going to be tough to beat. And again, they'll probably lose 87. So,
can he play center field?
What about the pressure?
That's what it looks like he's going to have to do. Because he's
a corner outfielder. What about the pressure? What about the pressure that they have on them now?
They got Joe Madden to handle that.
Yeah, they got Joe Madden.
I don't think they'll have any pressure because he'll take it on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And he does things that will, take away the pressure. And he has fun.
Right.
Everybody who's ever played under Madden says the team has fun. So I think he's a perfect manager on that team, just because they had young talent. But seriously, getting back to the question, is Hayward a center fielder? He's a great right fielder, great corner outfielder, and he's going to have to play center field, I think, as the lineup stands right now, because Schwarber obviously isn't going to play center, and Soler, from what I understand, from what I've seen, he's a decent right fielder, good right fielder, but Hayward's going to have to play center field, so that's going to be a different kind of position for him to play every day, right?
It will be, but I don't think he'll have nearly as much difficulty as Cespedes had.
Yeah, maybe. It's interesting. So it's funny because we haven't even talked about Cespedes. There's still other players out there that have not signed. Johnny Cueto, Cespedes.
Right.
There's still. It feels like after the winter meetings, it's like, oh man, it was like there's a build up to it. Players are starting to sign. We still got players out there. The Dodgers really haven't done much. The Diamondbacks have done a ton, which they got Shelby Miller, who had, I feel bad for the guy. The season went last year, but Ted, did the Diamondbacks give up too much for Shelby Miller, or are they just all in like the Padres were kind of last year?
They're all in. They're all in. You gotta love what Arizona, and I think they're, what's his title? Chief Baseball Operator, La Russa?
Yeah, something weird.
Yeah, something weird. I think that they're all in. They're all in. Did they give up a lot? Yeah, they gave up a lot, but talented, very, very talented player. It's really going to make things. Hey, you and I are perennial National League, lovers. So it's going to make that National League so competitive, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dodgers are still good. They should be good. Obviously, the Giants picked up Samardzija. They should be good again. They weren't lousy last year. And usually the year after they win a World Series is when they're lousy, and they were good. The Pirates should be good. The Cardinals should be good. As far as the National League East, the Nationals still have the pitching. They still have a lot of the same players. They've still got Bryce Harper. The National League seemed like the weak league for a while compared to the American League, but really, overall, they may be the stronger league of the two at this point, right, Todd?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they are. I've got a quick question for you about Greinke and his comments at his introduction to the Diamondbacks. And I'm sure you saw it, where he's talking about he would look across the diamond and he'd see they're making all these plays and they're a really scrappy offense, and I want to play with these guys. It's like, do you think he's throwing the Dodgers under the bus, or was he just being positive about, hey, I like this fit? I was surprised he made the comments myself.
I think it's just Greinke being Greinke. I mean, because that's he says some weird stuff. He's kind of an odd guy. So
yes,
yeah, I mean, when you get signed with a new team, there's always everything gets overhyped as far as what you say, especially when it's an introductory press conference. I know when I signed with the Happy Hour Network after leaving Sports Jam, I said some things that were pretty inflammatory about El Presidente, but I mean, no, that's NGSC Sports. Yeah, we never stop. That's not us. So we don't have. What everybody listening out there, we do have a website that's live. The happyhournetwork.com is live. We seem to be keeping it a secret for whatever reason, but it actually is there and exists. So feel free. You can check out the shows because there's a player on the website, on the front page of the website. Also, Ted at one point had a photo that I know the guy, webmaster, Rob Still, who created the website for us. He was thinking about putting up, and Ted, I'll ask you this. This is off baseball topic, but I know you're very right-wing. You're a friend of Fox and Friends, stuff like that. So what's your take on Donald Trump? I mean,
my goodness! The fact that I'm a contributor for Fox and Friends. Well, you know what? Truthfully, it's a tragedy, and we're watching it, and people are enjoying it. But there's some people out there that totally have things misconstrued about this gentleman. He's not good. I'll go as far as to say he's evil, and it's really sad. It's just really sad, the hate that's just being spewed, and the people that are out there that are just out there with the pom poms. So I don't know. It's sad because in this day, this is America. This is where we live, and this is where the country that we love, and we're watching this, and everyone's enamored with it. But I think everyone loves to watch a great train wreck.
I do, but not this kind. I just read last night that there are rumors that the power brokers in the party are working towards making this a brokered convention to prevent Trump from getting the nomination because they know he can't win the general election.
Right.
And there's talk that Carson has already made comments about, well, he may run as an independent, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, Trump has constantly flirted with that. So there's rumors that Trump would run as an independent and maybe even pick up Carson as his running mate because then they get all the crazies together in their one little happy family. That would be a beautiful wall.
Too.
Oh, exactly.
That's
why they belong together. That would be great if they run as independents because they'll siphon off like 15% of the wacko vote.
Yes.
And then I could run for president on the Democratic ticket and win. I mean, if that happens, so I really, really hope that they do that and that Trump runs as independent.
On the other side, it's you don't want to say it's a landslide, but I know the person that Lee kind of is strongly supporting. He's going against the machine.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Bernie Sanders. He's not going to get the nomination for the party.
No.
He knows. He's always known that, I think. But he's there to get the ideas out. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
He's talking about Trotsky. He's not talking about Bernie Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Leon,
he will tell me all the time. Yeah, how upset he is in Mexico at this point. But no, it's he died in Mexico for all those who don't know. Trotsky, not Sanders. But so anyway, but I mean, the thing that I think the Democrats are doing well is, I think they're doing a lot of things not so well, but I think the things that they are doing well is obviously they have Bernie Sanders, he's admitted that he's running instead of Elizabeth Warren because she said she wouldn't run. Sanders, maybe he thinks he can win. It's not a matter of if he can win. It's a matter of getting the ideas across and getting them out there and getting them out there enough where they can be talked about during the presidential election. If Sanders and Trump end up running against each other, first of all, I don't know which country I'm living in. even though I hope Sanders wins. And I can't even fathom that idea. It's going to be Hillary and probably Rubio, or Jeb Bush will somehow make it back in. But I mean, that guy's he's so boring at this point. I think it hurts his cause. But
he's a dope. He's like a dope as his brother.
He's a dope, yeah. But I think the Democrats are doing a good job of not arguing amongst each other, and the Republicans are. And I think that's going to hurt them in the long run.
The Democrats are doing a really good job of saying, hey, we have differences, but we're both on the same side. Whereas the Republicans, they're just shredding each other over, this guy's a bozo. And it's like, I don't know, this guy must be crazy. And it's like, which isn't surprising because they have so many people that are running strictly as an ego trip. I mean, aside from the two clowns that they've imported, some of the professionals. I mean, Cruz, that guy is like, that's what bothers me most about Trump and Carson, is they make Cruz look slightly normal, and he's not. He's probably crazier than they are.
Honestly, I haven't even heard Pablo Cruz's album in years. I don't even know. I didn't even know he's still alive.
He died in Mexico, too.
All the greats do.
Cruz is so far out there that they wanted him to comment on Trump's, hate rhetoric, and he was like, "Oh no, I have no comment for that."
Yeah. Well, I did hear a comment from Cruz, NPR, which I listened to, said that they asked him a question. Hey, are you just not saying anything against Trump because you want to get the support of his voters if Trump were no longer in the running? And he said, well, yeah, because I want the support of everyone's voters. But that, I don't like Ted Cruz either, but at least he said something that's logical. It's like, well, yeah, of course. I mean, why am I going to get in the middle of this mudslinging, when really what I want is just to be elected? I mean, Ted Cruz as president would be, I don't know, Quebec City is looking awfully pretty this kind of year. I'm just saying that.
Ted Cruz spent millions, I think like $2.5 million for a data mining project where they culled through millions of Facebook profiles. I mean, strictly legal. It's not like they did something. I'm not saying anything like that. But just to see, okay, well, who might support me, blah, blah, blah. So he gets, all these names of people who likely would support him. So they targeted those people, and they still don't like him. He still didn't get much support out of it. And it's like, wow, dude, doesn't that tell you how badly you suck? What an asshole you are? It's like, this is supposed to be your constituency, and they still don't like you.
Well, NPR also had they had someone on who was a Republican pollster, actually works for the Republican Party. So it wasn't a one-sided argument, but the pollster, they had him interview people who were at a Trump rally, and they said he was asking them one word that would describe Trump and why you're voting for him. And some people would say smart, intelligent, but like the third or fourth word was entertaining. And it's like, entertaining? Really?
Yeah,
this is what we're hiring nowadays? Or what we're getting as a president?
How many people, how often was it played up when W ran the first time and people said, he's a guy I'd like to have a drink with at a bar? Like, I don't want to have a drink. I don't want to have a beer with my president. I want him to run the freaking country. What the hell is wrong with you people? I don't want an entertaining president. I don't want to live in interesting times like the Chinese curse, like saying, come on, just, God, the anti-intellectual thing, like, this guy's too smart, I can't like him. It's like, I kind of want a president who's smarter than me, for Christ's sake. What's wrong with you morons?
Well, if Wick Terrell is listening right now before he comes on in just a couple of minutes to talk winter meetings, he's probably thinking...
Will Ferrell? Oh, my God.
He's probably thinking, hey, don't mock our guys. He's probably thinking, I thought I was on a baseball show, not a politics show. But from what I understand, I think Wick may lean left. So I think we're okay with the discussion, although we've probably lost 9/10 of our listening audience at that point. So we have one. We have Felix, my cat, actually. So real quick, before we talk to Wick, we meant to get to this last week and couldn't. Ted, I did hear the Adele song last week for the first time, Hello, but you have the whole album. Emote on how you think it is.
Lee, I feel like this is Groundhog's Day because we had this discussion last week.
We didn't. You never actually gave the full review, like how many stars you would give it. We just talked about how I had not really heard the song and you bought the album and yada yada yada.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess this is on a 5-star rating.
Hey, you're the reviewer. You can rate it on 4,574 if you want.